Hey guys, Ralph here, and welcome to Thrilling Thursday here in Connecticut. Life's good, baby. Life is good. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Horst and Faddis. What in the world could those two guys have in common? Completely different worlds. What do they have in common? Well, for us at True Power, they have one thing that is extraordinarily in common. And I'd like to talk about that. Not a note. This is it, baby. First notes of the day. Let's see what we got. My Lord. Lordy Lou. Anyway, hellacious locked-in double C's, as soft, as controlled as can possibly be, and no warm-up. Anyway, so Horst and Faddis, Fischer and Faddis, Faddis and Fischer. What do they have in common? Well, one is a Harry James clone. You know, swing extraordinaire. The other one is a bebop prodigy genius. What the heck do they have in common? Well, you guys know what I'm going to say. You absolutely 100% know what I'm going to say. Look at those two chops. Now, as I said before, everybody's chops look different because of the genetic differences. They're not going to look the same, but there are similarities. And what do they have in common? Those corners are so relaxed to be, and because they are so relaxed, look at how fat the lips are. Now, if you look at both of them, in repose, they both have very, very thick lips. So it's not a big surprise that their embouchure is going, but this is what I'm talking about, guys. Look at how relaxed. Now, if you look at Faddis, now, I will say this. Both of them, I can almost guarantee are playing a low note there. Okay? That is not a double C for either of them. But if you look at Faddis, and you look at Horst, when they are playing, there's not that much difference in the corners at all. There's very, very little difference. What they have is a firmness, all of a sudden, as opposed to just relax, a firmness, and thus the compression. Now, the only thing that a red flag might go up, and it's sort of silly to call it a red flag because Faddis is in about 70, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, it's not like, you know, if his chops left him tomorrow, he would be screwed. But if you look at it, the point is, he does have marks on his lips. Now, I know for an absolute fact, he uses dry embouchure. He does. And that, guys, if you have a dry embouchure, just take your lips. You might not even want to do this. Completely dry them. Completely dry a mouthpiece. And put it on. And then just sort of twist it a little bit. Just a little bit. You see how there's no give? So guys with dry embouchure sometimes can get scars and little twisting, and they're really not necessarily using that much pressure. It comes from a different thing. Now, Faddis uses very, very little pressure, as does horse Fischer from Buff. I don't have a lot of things where you actually see horse playing. There's a lot of recordings that you hear him, but I don't necessarily see a lot of things. Unlike Harry and all that sort of stuff. But you hear his tone, guys. He's not working very hard. I mean, he's just not. You talk about no limitations. Guys, and Faddis, he has the whole thing we talked about ad nauseum a couple times. That space in his teeth, and he's clenching his teeth and controlling it with the tongue against the teeth, which is working incredibly for him because he creates an enormous amount of compression. Now, I also talked about lots of guys, and I think Winton talked about this once. If you're going to get in a high note contest with Faddis, you're losing. You're losing. Me, Jerry, God bless him. He could just play all day above double C. Sometimes he get a little strained, for sure. But he's dexterous up there. I mean, it's incredible. And guys, yes, the thing with the teeth and the compression and all that sort of stuff is a little unique. But guys, it starts with no strain in the corners. None. He and Fischer, look at them. Look at them. It's gorgeous. And you throw in another one, you know what I'm going to do. You throw in Maurice. Now, this is what I've talked about a lot, guys. They don't look the same. They don't. So for us to try to get in the mirror and see if we look like blah, 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 it makes no sense. Don't do it. Okay? They do not look the same. But the characteristics of relaxation and which leads to a thick lip because they're not stretched. Okay? Now, I'm going to put a picture of Bilger. Okay? I'm not ragging on Bilger. I'm not, guys. He is a wonderful, wonderful player. And the fact of the matter is he's held an iconic job a whole lot longer than I ever have. So I'm saying right up. But when we're talking chops, look at the difference in his chops as compared to the guys with the extraordinary chops. His chops are stretched. The bottom lip is completely 100% flat. And unless he's got a C trumpet, man, now, it works for him. Bravo. Bravo. I'm just saying, compared to the guys with the extraordinary chops, that is the difference. And do I have my chops book? What do I do with my chops book? I don't have it with me. Anyway, I did a book that analyzes all the great players. Horst, Fischer, Bilger, they're all in there. And it analyzes the chops, the thickness, the stretch, and all that sort of stuff for each one. Jerry used to love to do that. And he has all these just anthems and anthems of chops, of shots. Many of the shots, the pictures that I have in my chops book is are from his archives. Anyway, we used to talk about that for hours. Anyway, that's that. Fischer and Faddis. Man, dynamic duo. Anyway, eat and drink your fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Love you all.